Amazing. Okay. Ryan Dalton, I think we're live, bro. What do you think?
Let's go. Let's do it. Live call time, baby.
Dude, I'm locked in. I'm so dialed right now. I'm ready to just tear some heads off right now. You know,
the best hour of the week.
Eminem, dude, kicking ass in the morning, taking names in the evening. Don't let me start rapping Eminem, bro.
I'm not going to stop you. I'm not stopping you. I was hoping that would just keep going. I want to see how far that would go.
Oh, dude, you should see me. Yeah, I won't get into that. All right, let me go into the app on my phone. Who we got? We got Bruce Neal off. What's going on, dude? We're going to get some people. We're not starting this thing till we get 40 people. So I'm going to start tagging a few people. I'm going to use the everyone tag, and we're going to run this up. So I just tagged Fix It. I'm going to tag old Cowboy Kyle, get him hitting a couple people. We're going to tag Aaron Vogler. He's probably going to tag more people than Fix It. Aaron Vogler is a freaking street hustler, dude. Okay. Ryan, can you still hear me?
Yeah, man. I got you. Let's do it.
Beautiful. Okay. So we've got Kurt Thomas. What's up, Kurt? Kurt, just so you know, I see you, dude. I see you on the YouTube lives. I see you on these lives. So just know I pay closer attention than some of you guys think. And I see you guys, and I know you're here to learn. Yvette, what is going on? Haven't seen you for a minute, even though I know you're still hustling. I haven't seen you for a minute. She's one of the OGs, been around for over a year, I believe, inside Digital Landlords. Good to have you on. Guys, what is going on? Ryan, do you have the Celsius, or what'd you do today? Do you not have it?
I'm a Celsius guy, but my wife drank them all. So that's the problem.
Bro.
She drinks more than I do. And so when they're gone, they're gone. And
that's unfortunate, dude. Restock. You got to do the recurring Amazon. Well, you're going to have to live vicariously through me. The real question I have for everybody, okay, is are you one of those people? This is what my wife does. She taps the top of this as if it's going to stop it from overflowing. You guys tap the top of these things. I think it's dog shit. She thinks that this is going to stop like after you shake it. Doesn't work, dude. Doesn't work. Anyway, ready for this, Ryan?
Let's go. Pop
Watch the steam. Oh my gosh, dude.
So now it's an official live call. Like the monster's been popped. The energy, the caffeine is going.
Dude, now I said this, I think in Digital Landlords on Tuesday, but it could have been on Monday. I can't wait for the day when I'm promoting the shit out of my own energy beverage.
Oh yeah, you got dreams. I like that.
Dude, I don't even get paid on this. And it's like Monster tastes good, but I don't love the branding. It's kind of like it's too motocross for me. You know what I'm saying? But I just love the taste. So when I have my own, I'm going to be hitting these so hard. I'm going to do lives just to promote them. You know what I mean?
You do pre-workout? Is this your only caffeine?
Oh, dude, I do all the above.
All the caffeine.
Okay. We got Artem. What is going on? We've got Kyle Patton's tagging people. I love this. Kyle Patton, Cowboy Kyle, 6'9" unit, tagging people. Let's see. Aaron Vogler, your product launch for your drink should be called the Nikolai. Okay. Aaron Vogler believes he sees the vision. Okay, I'm gonna hit the everyone tag and we're gonna rock and roll, Ryan. Let's see.
Good vibe to it, Aaron.
Boom. Curious. David Appleby, what's up, my Australian friend? What's up, mate? What's up, dude? All right. So I just hit the everyone tag. That's like the steroid shot. We should be up around 40 here shortly. Just curious, Ryan. I think I made you an admin in the group. Can you do the everyone tag as well?
Oh, let's try it.
If it lets you do it, I think you should hit them and let's see what we can get. Let's see if we can get an influx. We just got 5 more people on this call.
I don't know if I've got the admin power yet. I don't know if I have the true.
I thought I made you admin, bro.
I don't know if I have the true power yet. If I did, though, that everyone is happening
immediately. We're at 32. We need 8 more. Guys, we need 8 more people. We're going to rip your heads off on this call today. I am feeling so much energy because I've had so much caffeine right now. 34, 6 more, and we're going to blow the top off this thing. Okay. By the way, if you're brand new, welcome to the call. This is the art of pre-selling. I am here to educate and, more importantly, to entertain you on all things money making with the greatest business model on the planet. That is digital real estate. And it's going to be a banger today. I just saw our numbers drop. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Bro, you better bring out the everyone tag, dude.
I can't. I don't have the power yet.
Bullshit. Okay, whatever, dude. Stupid. All right, we're just going to go like this. I'm going to try this because I think I'm logged into mine on my phone. I might be able to do it on my own. Let's go. Give me 1 second. Give me a second here. Give me a sec. Aaron's putting in work, dude. This kid is hustling. I love the hustle that Aaron puts in.
He's committed.
Okay. He's committed, dude. All right, we got 33. We need a couple more people. That's just how we're rolling today. Oh, dude, I can do it too. Here we go. Everyone, I just nailed them. Boom. Okay. We got 34. We need 6 more people, dude. I ain't dicking around today. We need 6 more people. Dean, where are you at? Porter, start tagging people, bro. You little bro to start hustling. Porter, congratulations. You got $7,500 a month. Dude, Ryan, I think he's coming for you, dude.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Let's go.
Porter started the week before Thanksgiving and he's at $7,500. Jonathan Smith or Brad Hardy, what's going on, dude? Jonathan Smith says he's here for Paige, staying for the king. I had to pull you guys in with a little sex appeal. I know how you guys are. It's you know, it's cool. Okay, well, I don't know. We're kind of stalled at 33. I think we just rip, and I think we're gonna push above. Josh Murdoch, what's up, dude? I'm seeing a lot of OGs that are kind of making their way back around, and I know they're just got their heads down grinding, but let's freaking do this thing. All right, I'm gonna pull up my notes and we're just gonna shake and bake. Ryan, you ready for this?
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, guys, really quick. You guys have probably seen this guy on the last couple calls. He actually ran this live last week. Thanks for doing that, by the way. I had great feedback. And just for the 2 of you that don't know who Ryan is, Ryan, a year ago, roughly, didn't know what rank and rent was. He was working as an attorney. He's not somebody that hates his job. He just saw the writing on the wall. He's like, I need to have more streams of income. And he started doing research on different business models. He's a very analytical guy. And he started looking at different business models. And he's like, this is the business model. Stumbled into this group. And within 12 months, or less than 12 months, I think it was 11 months, muscled his way to $27,000 per month. And just an amazing freaking story that you're able to do that quick. And that puts shame on my story. It took me, yes, I scaled to 100K rapidly, but it took me 6 years of chasing shiny objects and making all the mistakes and spending millions of dollars on ads. So the reason why I want Ryan, and by the way, this is all while Ryan is working a full-time job, not some schlub job where he's at a gym working. I'm not, no offense if you work at a gym, but it's not a job you could just, you know, like yesterday I went to this trampoline park with my kids and like the lady was just reading. It's like, you're an attorney. You have like real work you have to do, but you still did that at the same time. And you're a dad and you're a husband and you're shredded, bro. I could see it, dude. It's he's got that jujitsu bod going on.
Yeah. Curls for the girls, man. Come on.
I love it, dude.
All the time.
That's what they always say. I like having Ryan on because both of us are committed to this business model. Both of us are all in on this digital real estate business model. Both of us are building our empires, but we have completely different brains, the way that we work. I'm the kind of guy that's like, just, you know, throw shit against the wall and go, and it looks shitty. And Ryan's like, oh, let's actually build a system and let's analytically let's figure out how we can scale this up instead of just like, you know, and I think there's strengths and weaknesses to both, but I want Ryan, and the reason he's been on a lot of these calls is because not all of you guys think the way that I think. Not all of you are the take action, call, mess up, imperfect action. Some of you guys are going to relate a lot more to Ryan in that he's very organized. He's very well thought out. He's very intelligent, and it's a very good contrast. So that's why you keep seeing him on here, and you're going to continue to see his face. And it's also good because now they're going to hold you accountable. They expect you to be at the $80 to $100,000 a month mark very shortly, bro. So no pressure.
Yeah, Patrick and Eugene on the other call today threw it down. So, you know, the gauntlet's been thrown down. So those guys, I know they're hustlers. Those guys are pros. Those guys are getting after it.
Yeah, they're those two. There's a handful of people. Those two, because you guys know who they are, and there's about 3 to 5 other people. Mark my words, and that includes you, Ryan. They will be millionaires through this business model this year. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be alive. We're giving you I mean, imagine, dude, imagine 10 years ago, or when you first, maybe 15, whatever, when you first started into your career. I know for me, when I first started, I was like, how do I get around more people? I didn't know any millionaires, dude. I was like, every time I met someone that like had a nice car, I was like, oh, he's killing it. You know what I mean? And it's like, we're literally putting people in front of you that are using this business model, and you're going to watch them go from, hey, I just figured this out 2 years ago or last year, and now I'm a millionaire through this model. So anyway, you guys, I don't think people sometimes appreciate what they have in front of them, but we have some absolute studs. And one thing with me, dude, I don't put anybody on a call unless they're actually doing it. I'm not going to stick you on here because I need you, or because whatever. You have to be closing deals. You have to have the chops to be on one of these calls. So if I ever have somebody on a call like this, it's because they're actually doing it. So that is a compliment to you, Mr. Dalton.
I mean, you got guys in this group, like you said, that are on the path, like they're on the path to $1 million, and we're not doing anything different. Like when I talk to those guys, we're all doing the same stuff. Like we're doing the due diligence. We're, putting up good websites. Like we're having the same script with the business owners. It's not like there's like this crazy variation between what everyone's doing. It's all the same thing, and it's persistency plus time, and it's going to print money.
Yep. It's crazy when I explain this business model to people. Like I just barely I'm doing a podcast in a couple of weeks, and we jumped on like a little 15-minute call today with a guy, and he's like, hey, I got recommended, but I want to just like make sure that you're a good fit. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we talked, and he's like, dude, so he thought I did regular real estate. I'm like, bro, I'm the king of digital real estate. So he's like, so explain to me what you do. And I explained it. He's like, and the whole time he's just like, dude, that makes so much sense. And of course he's like, so how much is your program? Like, I'm going to get my wife into that, And I'm like, well, it depends on when you get it. It depends on when you get in, dogs. It might be double if you wait too long,
Yeah.
No.
I went to my CPA, my accountant the other day. I was like, I guess I have one of those now. I run a business. And so I'm talking about it. And it's the same conversation. It went from like business to like wondering about this business model. They're like, wait, how do you do this? Like, you're doing what? Like, all you do is this and this and this. And, I explained it to him. And then I could tell the guy that was, my CPA was like interested. He's like, I kind of want to do that. Right. And he's like got this ball in office. He's got a nice spot, but I'm like, bro, I do this from home,
It's so cool to me, like the difference in people. So I don't care who you are. I don't care what your age is. Like just today, we've had people that we've talked to get into the digital landlords program. We talked to somebody today that is a pro golfer. We talked to somebody today that is a 55 plus year old nurse and just wants to have an additional stream of income and doesn't want to be tied to the man. It's like, this model, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, it's like my little brother. He wants to farm. Porter, he's on this call. He's going to take over our family farm, but his goal is to get this up to a point where he's making triple, quadruple, even more from this. And then the money that comes from the farm is like, just put it in a savings account and whatever. And I don't have to worry about like taking money out of the farm. So it's just a cool model because anybody can do it, and everybody should have a couple sites. Why wouldn't you have a couple deals, dude? Like, why not, dude? Whether you're a single mom, single dad, you got a full-time job, you're an attorney, you're a pro golfer, you're a pro baseball player, everyone should have digital real estate passive income coming, because why not? Right?
Yeah. I mean, no one can take it from you. You keep it for life. Like, no one can take that domain from you, for life. That's your asset. That's going to make you money should you choose for it to. You work out some of the business owner, keep them for as long as you can. How few of those?
The best advice I got in the last couple of years is I talked to somebody and they told me, this is somebody that has a pretty high net worth, really high level individual. And they said, they basically said to me, don't ever spend a second of your time involved in anything unless you're building an asset.
That's rad advice.
Imagine if every second that you were working, if there wasn't an asset being worked on, that was your filter. Imagine if you'd done that for the last 20 years. Imagine how many assets you'd have paying you right now.
Your asset. He's saying build your asset.
Building your assets.
Your assets. Yeah.
don't ever basically don't ever trade your time for dollars. Imagine if your criteria for, am I going to do this or not, is there an asset attached? Imagine how many assets you'd have.
Rinse and repeat, systematize that, keep making them.
That's the game, bro. That's the game in life, dude. Buy assets, build assets, create assets, escape the matrix or escape the rat race where you can, if you want to work, you can work. If you don't want to work, you don't have to work. If you want to go jujitsu, if you want to go chase bad guys in West Africa like you do, whatever you want to do, bro, it's up to you. That's how you win the game of life.
Yeah. I mean, when you're able to live just by owning stuff that you have made, right? Like you made it and it was probably hard work to make it, but you made it, it's yours and you own it. And that's how you live because you own things that are generating money for you. Man, the freedom with that.
And not only the freedom, but the feeling, the satisfaction that comes like by being somebody that's constantly creating assets and is getting paid even when they're not working. Like, dude, how did you feel? And this isn't even what we're talking about today. Guys, by the way, today we're going to be bringing someone on here in a few minutes that hated sales and they've turned into a sales killer. So don't stay with us. They're going to be on here in about 10 minutes, but I got a couple of things I want to share. But Ryan, what did it feel like? I know we've talked about this before, but what did it feel like that first piece of that first $100, that first $500,000 of passive income that you made? Describe that, dude. Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess the biggest moment for me was when I was closing out my books for the year, right? I was closing everything down at December 31st. I was in front of my computer. I was right here. And I was just closing out like, how did it go this year, right? Because I said at the beginning of the year, I'm going to do rank and rent. Like, that's it. I'm not going to get distracted. I'm going to do rank and rent. I got to the end of the year and I could see how much money came in that was closed 6+ months ago. I don't even talk to those guys anymore. Like every now and then I'll text them and be like, hey, everything good? And they're like, yeah, I'm making money. I'm like, good. When you're making money, I'm happy. That money is just hits my bank account now. Right. And when that realization hit me like hard, like at the end of the year, like, oh, it's going to do that again next year, but now there's more of that coming in. It's the best feeling. It's the best.
It's euphoric. It is amazing. I remember my first $100. I was playing golf, Southgate Golf Course. Look it up. Hole number 10, back 9. Literally hit my first shot. Actually, a pretty good drive. Pulled out probably my 7-iron. I can picture it right now. Went out and I picked up my phone and I saw, guys. And this is when I wasn't even doing it right. I was doing pay per lead. I was doing this deal and I got paid $100 per lead. And I watched the quote form came in, and this business owner, he would give me $100 every time a quote would come in or a phone call. And I remember just going, dude, I'm playing golf and I just made $100. It was only $100, but that was the best $100. And that felt better than making my first $1 million, to be honest.
Yeah. But because you saw now like, oh, this is real.
Yep. I just cracked the code. I separated my time from my money. I just started into the rich dad. I just started escaping the rat race. I had my first $100 coming in. It was amazing. So for those out there that are every dollar that you earn, you are having to trade your time. You haven't even started living life, man. Life begins when you escape the matrix, when you escape the rat race. That's when life begins. And that's my new saying. So just for the record. Okay, quick little announcement, 1 or 2 announcements, and then we're going to bring on our guest and we're going to crank. You guys are going to love this. It's going to be different than you've ever seen. This is something that commonly, whenever somebody joins this Facebook group, not every time, but a lot of times we either see a post, we get a DM, we see a comment that says, there's so much good information in here. I could tell this is like everyone's active and all this different stuff, but where the heck do I even start? Like there's so much in here. And so I want to let you guys know that are brand new. There's a couple different places to start depending on where you are at in your journey with digital real estate, with online, with internet money, etc. So number one is if you are looking to figure out and kind of just, is this a model that might be interesting to me, right? Maybe you stumbled across this group or you saw an obnoxious video I did on YouTube or something. If you want to like get a kind of just a sample of this model, I have a free training that I have created and outlined, and you guys can go get access to, and the domain, and I'll share it. I'll update the comment here in just a moment, or the live here, but you go to rentsimplesites.com. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat here, rentsimplesites.com. And that is a way that you can get a free training. Okay. That's number one. By the way, just so you guys know, from the free training, it's probably going to give you enough to salivate, and it's going to lead you into our funnel, because eventually, we want you to be in digital landlords. So just so you know, that's where it's leading you. I'm not trying to hide that, but that is a free training. Okay. If you're somebody that got into this, you've known about Rank and Rent, you've watched a bunch of my YouTube videos, you're like, I'm ready to go make money right now, and I'm not like interested in digging through all the videos and finding this, finding that, whatever, and you value your time and you want to go and rent deals or rent sites, then rank them, you want to go and pre-sell, then fill out an application and we will go through it, and we can get you on a call and give you the details of our digital landlords program. Okay. And I'm bringing this up. I don't talk about this a lot. I very rarely say anything about this. In fact, I had somebody on YouTube the other day. They're like, can you make a video about digital landlords? We don't even know what it is. I don't talk about this a lot, so I'm going to just say it. If you're looking to go quick, if you want the blueprint of how to rent first, rank later, then go fill out an application. You'll find it pinned to the top. Our team will go through it, and you'll be getting a call from me, Kyle, or Chase. Most likely going to be Chase, but I actually did a call today, and we will go through that application. We'll make sure that you're qualified. We'll talk to you, make sure you've watched enough case studies, and you'll get on a call with Cowboy Kyle, get all the details. You'll figure out all that's associated with that. Okay. That's number two. And up until now, that is basically, and as of right now, that is basically the two options. Now, you're also free to keep watching the free content and staying in this group, and we hope that you do. But I got some exciting, a little bit of a teaser that I want to share here. There is a third option that is going to be available very, very, very soon. And Mr. Ryan Dalton has been in the lab. He has been pulling a little Pablo Escobar in the freaking meth lab, cooking and grinding and baking away. And if you are somebody that's brand new to the internet, you're brand new to Rank and Rent, you just saw this group and you're like, shit, man, I don't even know. Like for me, 6 years ago, I didn't know what a domain was. I knew that it was www.google.com. I didn't know that was called a domain. I didn't know HostGator. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what SEO stood for, dude. If that describes you, Ryan next week is going to be doing a free training for those of you that are new, because he's been in this game a year. He can speak to he can relate very much to you that are brand new to this. Yeah. And all of I mean, dude, do you remember how scary it was when you initially started? It's like
I didn't know what a backlink was. Like, what's a backlink? What's a citation? Like, I didn't know what any of that was. Right. 100%. And just, I knew what SEO was sort of conceptually, like, oh, some websites get to the top of Google because they do things other websites don't. But like, that was the extent of it. Yep. I didn't know anything other than
that. And so for me, because I've been in this for 6-7 years, sometimes I forget how much I didn't know. So anyway, long story short, we're going to be doing a bigger, more information on this next Wednesday. Don't miss the call next Wednesday, but next Friday, Ryan's going to be doing a free training for anyone that's brand new. And at the end of that free training, he's actually going to be mentoring. He's going to be doing a deal with a limited number of students where he's going to be mentoring. We haven't decided on the number yet, but he's going to be doing something. So make sure you're on the call next Wednesday. And if you're hearing this right now and you're like, yeah, that's probably something I'm interested in is getting on that free training. Message Ryan. He'll send out an application. We're only going to put a certain number of people in that group. And yeah, so there's that. So there's the three options. Number one, rentsimplesites.com. If you're ready to rock and roll, go fill out an application, or go message Ryan. If you're brand new, you don't know what a damn backlink is, you're just starting fresh. Ryan was there literally a year ago. Here he is at 27,000 in 12 months, which is insane. Yep. Okay. All right. Let me double check to see if our guest is ready to roll. And then if not, I got something I can and want to share, but I might not have time. Let me see if this person is ready. I'm excited. Okay. Hang tight. Hold on. Oh, actually, you know what? I can see it right there. Boom, we're ready. Okay, let me give a quick intro. Actually, I'm going to let this person in to the pocket, if you will. Okay, here we go, Ryan.
Let's go.
Dramatic pause.
Dun, dun, dun.
Can you hear me?
Francesca Ravanelli.
Hi.
What did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it right.
I know how to say it. I've been saying it for 3 years, Francesca. What's going on?
Nothing much.
Just picked up your dog. Fun couple facts about Francesca, if I may. Francesca, this is going to be a fun call. Okay. I'm going to do a little intro here, actually. Do you mind, Francesca?
Sure.
Okay. So this is Francesca. Meet Francesca, originally from Italy. I met Francesca in 2019. And what happened is I was looking for somebody to manage all of my stuff, all of the websites and everything else. So I was like, you know what? Who could I find? And I went onto LinkedIn and I started looking for interns at local marketing companies here in the great city of St. George, Utah. And I came across Francesca and I sent her a DM. I slid in the DMs. I said, Francesca, what are you getting paid? I was pretty blunt. I said, what are you getting paid at that job, at that company? I'm not going to say the company. I'm like, what are you getting paid? And I said, are you open to like better opportunities, other opportunities? And, you know, I'm always just shooting my shot. I didn't care if I was just, you know, ghosted, whatever. She responded and said, yeah, I'm down to talk. Like, okay, cool. Let's meet. So we meet and I give her the old pitch. And I don't know, 3 days later, I got a call and she calls me and says, yeah, I'm going to stay at my current company. I'm like, no. Like, I don't think you understand who you're talking to. Like, I don't take no. Like, come back in and let's you must not have understood. I'm the king, dog. You don't know. And I wasn't even the king then, but I knew I was the king, right? It's like Simba. He just knew he was going to be there. Anyway, she comes back in, couldn't say no. Rest is history, right? Francesca, right?
Yeah, it's a little dramatized, but yeah.
No, it's not at all. I think I underplayed it, to be honest. Anyway, so here's why I wanted Francesca to get on this call. Francesca, let me pull up. Hold on. I got to get rid of this so I get the chat. Francesca started with me as I'm like, I need you to manage everything. She's organized. She's like, she's everything that I'm not. She's good at Google Sheets. She's good at like dealing with clients. And I remember at some point I told you, Francesca, I said, I think you would crush it at sales. And you were like, nah, it's cool. But like, that's not really my style. Like this is a couple years ago, right? You were not interested at all. And then in 2021, for those of you that been in this group from the beginning, I was hanging out with my buddy Mahmoud, and Mahmoud, shout out to Mahmoud. And we were in the office and we were doing a live. And I said, let me go grab Francesca. I'm going to show everyone that anybody can cold call. And I went in and I said, Francesca, I need you to come cold call. And she was not happy. She's like, I'm not doing it. I'm like, anyway, long story short, she knew I wasn't going to accept no. So she bargained. She said, if you buy me some cool plants for my office, I'll do it. So I bought her some plants. She came in, she hooked the business owner on her first call. I closed them and we landed the deal. It was amazing. That is actually in here. In fact, Ashley, Fix It, Kyle, anyone that's in here, if one of you guys can go and like pin that to the top, that was a hilarious like call and she crushed it and we got that deal. So anyway, she does that call and she still doesn't like sales. And I've said multiple times, like, if you did sales, you could crush it. And she's like, I know, but like, I probably could, but I just don't love it. And fast forward to the last couple weeks, and I don't know what's gotten into you, but she hopped into digital landlords. And I did make her pay full price. Just took it out of the salary. And no, I'm just kidding. I think we did a deal on that. And she watched the digital landlords training. And this last week, I was on a cruise and she texted me and said, hey, in fact, let me read the text. Ready for this? I got this text from Francesca and I literally had to go to the cabin and I had to change my undershorts because I was so excited. Okay. She said to me, quote, Hang tight. Oh, shit. Hold on. Okay. She said, without even an exclamation point, Friday at 3:23, I closed a new guy for this website. I won't say what website, for tree service, $1,000 a month. And I almost fell off my chair.
That's awesome.
Just went and did it. Didn't even tell me she had hooked him. Didn't say anything. And so she does that. And then a couple of days later, she goes to one of our current clients, upsells him into another deal. So now she's basically just on fire. So I wanted to bring Francesca on. And by the way, thank you for doing this. I know this is like the last thing she would spend her time doing. I try to get her to do TikToks with me and videos. And she's like, nope, I'll do anything else, but that's not what I want to do. So I know how much you hate this. I appreciate you being on, but I wanted to just like bring you on, ask you a couple questions, because there's so many people out there that hate sales, and we don't even need to talk about the specifics of the deal because everyone kind of knows the process. But how were you able to like will yourself to actually pick up the phone? Because I know how much you hate just sales in general, or did. How did you like, what changed?
I stopped looking at it as a sale. You know, like how you say that you used to knock on doors.
Okay.
I think looking at it as more of a, hey, I need help because I have this website that is getting these leads and I need to find someone that I can give them to. Looking at it as like a partnership, but more of an actual deal with another person gave me more balls and not made me scared of like a rejection. Because to me, it's not a rejection because I'm not doing really a sale. I'm looking more of, hey, would you like to work with me? If not, that's fine. And I've actually said that when I called the first guy, like not being scared of like a rejection, because I'm not really looking at it as a sales, because I don't like sales, but I'm looking at it, hey, I have this leads coming, because we had the website running and we had leads coming and it was just, you know, sitting there, and I wanted to have someone that could take them.
Ryan, you were going to say something.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean to step on you. I'm just saying like just like a little touch of a takeaway. Like that's a pro move already in your business owner that you're hooking there. What was it like to hook your first business owner for one of your sites?
What do you mean? Like, what did it feel like?
Yeah, like what was that experience like for you? Like you know, send the lead, you live transferred, you know, somehow you got them over the business, and that's like the first step, right? Like what was that like?
Yeah. It's a little hard for me because I am retaining the clients that we already have that we didn't close. So I'm kind of used to talking to people about the leads or solving issues with the leads or knowing what they are looking for, even if I haven't closed them before, because it is something that I've managed in the past. So when I closed them, it was like I don't know, it was pretty simple because I'm already doing it with other clients. The only thing that I was missing was getting someone to jump on the same board, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
And I think what Ryan was saying, and this is something that I would like to think you might have learned from me, but I could be wrong, is you kind of have that takeaway like, hey, you like, if you like, well, I'm looking for someone to work with, but if it doesn't make sense, that's cool. Like, it's like that, like he said, it's like that takeaway, that pullback, which sometimes you don't even know you're doing it, but it works, right?
And I think it's because I wasn't begging. Again, I wasn't really doing a sale. I was being more, how do you say it? Like, more stern, but not in a negative way, just more on my point. And so the guy believed me in a way. Like, I wasn't trying to sell him. I just said, hey, we have this. This is why it would be beneficial. This is why it would be beneficial to me. And it just worked out.
I love it. How many people did you have to call before you got that person hooked?
I called one guy, and I was nervous because I only had 3 guys on my list. And one is someone that we already worked with, so I wasn't going to call him.
You're like, that's not going to work.
Not going to call that one. Then I had this other guy, and I called him, and he sounded cool on the phone. But then when I called the lead and I was ready to transfer, he stopped answering. I think he got, thought I was a spam, but I didn't waste I only called him once, sent him a text, he never answered. So after an hour, I just called the third guy that was the last on the list.
So you were basically,
I called one.
It was your second person.
Yeah.
Here's something else I almost forget, but like, guys, this is going to be good. This is going to be cool for a lot of people, because the bigger this group gets and the bigger this business model gets, the more this is getting, like, not just in the US, this is like getting to other countries. We have a lot of students that are in other countries, but you guys can't tell, but like, English isn't even Francesca's first language, which is insane. She grew, that's like, I say she's from Italy. It's not like one of those people like, yeah, I'm from Italy. And it's like, you were born there, and then a month later, you guys moved here. You were in Italy till you were 16. And then you moved here. And so you've only been in the US. You've been in the US. You were in Italy longer than you were in the US, than you've been in the US, right?
Yeah. Like
almost twice as long. Can you speak on that at all? Like, I know a lot of people, when English is their second language, and like you speak it so well, you can't even tell that you're from there, but like, how, is there any like insecurity that comes that's not your first language that you could speak on? Or are you so confident enough in English now that it doesn't matter? Or do you still like have a little bit of that you have to overcome in your head of like, oh gosh, I'm not even speaking my native tongue here?
No, because I mean, sometimes like the first guy that I called, keep in mind this city's in like one of the southern states, so they have a pretty thick accent, and I don't think he was having a hard time speaking English himself, you know.
So he sounded like Kyle.
Yeah. So I mean, no, because I know that I can get my point across. Maybe I would say if I say the wrong word, I can still be able to like communicate.
No,
and I'm confident in that. If, I don't have an issue.
For sure.
I haven't had an issue. The only people I've had an issue is usually people that haven't really spoken to many people that I guess are coming from other countries, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it matters at all. I know that some people in their head, they think that's like a stumbling block. It's like, dude, no one cares. It's like, as long as you can get somebody leads, I don't care if you're freaking speaking, I don't care what language, like you can make me money, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And
I would be confident when I do call, and I know that I'm calling a very small town with someone with a pretty Southern accent or whatever, I already know, and I prepare myself that they're not the most open-minded. Maybe they are, I don't know. But if I can sense that they get a little weird or a little calmer on the other end as I'm speaking, I usually even mention, I say, hey, if you're hearing like a little accent, I'm actually like, I try to break the ice so they feel comfortable, because I don't want them to think, oh, where is she from? Because if you're from a small town, you may think that. I don't care what they think, but my point is I try to make them feel comfortable. I don't feel insecure about it, or I sit there and like, oh, maybe like they don't trust me because I don't know. It doesn't matter. My point is I can sense it usually. And if that's the case, I bring it up and I say it myself, and then we make a conversation out of it and they feel more comfortable. So
you flip the script and you make it an advantage for you.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And it's funny that you say that, because that's something that I used to do knocking door to door. Is after a couple of times with people answering the door and going, hell no, slamming the door, or like, get the F off my porch, whatever it was, we just started like cutting them off. We'd be like, it would knock and go, hey, don't worry, I'm not the magazine guy or whatever. Ha ha ha. Like, what's the word? Like, you just bring it up first. It's eliminating objections 101, right? Just what we talk about in the training. You bring it up first and you're eliminating it instead of it becoming a thing. So another thing I want to ask you, and Ryan, also, if you have questions, I want you to ask, but I'm going to just call this elephant in the room out, because I know that there's going to be, if it's not people that are live right now, it'll be people that watch this video in the future. There is this, I don't know why, but there is this stigma or this thing that I've talked to. This is not me just thinking, it's talking to women. A lot of them think that by being a woman, you're at a disadvantage when calling, and men aren't going to take you seriously. Because we've talked about this enough, I think you actually have an advantage over us men. But can you speak to that? Like, when you call, did you think that? Do you think that? What are your thoughts on that as calling? Let's be honest. Concrete, tree service, spray foam installation, these industries are male dominated. Like, it's just fact. what are your thoughts there? Was there anything you had to overcome in your head of like, hey, like they don't, like I actually have an advantage, not a disadvantage? Like, can you speak on that at all?
I think it depends who you're talking to. If you're talking to a 50-year-old man that's single, that, yeah, you may have an advantage, right? If you're talking to someone that gets very defensive and then they start questioning you and being like, hey, what do you know about concrete? What, those people, but those are people that you don't want to work for in the first place anyway, not very open-minded, kind of on their own side. The thing is, you don't even know about you're not a handyman, Nick. You can't even hang stuff yourself. So to me, no, it doesn't.
By the way, tell them who's hung all the art in the office.
I do. So
Francesca, not me.
Yeah.
She's than I am.
So it's just, yeah. And I know that. And I think it kind of goes back to confidence. Like same thing with the language. I own it. And I know that I know leads, right? And I know that I know what I'm doing. Do I know everything about concrete? No. And I don't really care. All I care about is I can offer you this, then you deal with concrete, Totally. And that's what I'm not there for, knowing their stuff. And I make it a point if they try to. But if they try to, they're usually people that I don't want to work with again,
I agree.
You feel like if they have some sort of attitude because you're female, you're like, that's just a signal that they probably have that attitude about. They probably have female clients that call, right? That want their driveway stamped or their patio or whatever, that, they're looking for something, and if they're closed-minded, like that's not a good business owner. Like that's part of your screening process is what you're saying.
Exactly. Because if someone is going to be like that with me, what else are they, kind of weird about? Is it going to throw a fit when I have to give him, the agreement to sign or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Usually that is kind of a signal of other potential issues, unless he's making a joke. Then I really don't care if he thinks that women are inferior, don't know about I don't care, because it doesn't reflect what I think or what I am. And if that's the case, I just laugh it off. It just flies over, over my head.
Flies over shit, baby. I just think it's so cool. Like, think about like the fact that it's just cool to me that you are somebody that was raised in another country. You came here, you learned English, you've been here for 8 years, and now you're just closing deals just on a random Friday and making me fall off my chair on a cruise ship by doing it. It's awesome. So I love it because there are a lot of badass women in our program, in this group, in this space. But like there's a lot of, so it seems like we always have men on. So I love having this woman perspective. This is kind of like a nuance or like a specific detail, but when you did your calls, like the cold calls, did you have to like psych yourself up? Did you have to did you have to grab your dog and do a headbutt against? By the way, how big is Wrigley?
70 pounds.
70-pound. Is it a boxer?
Mm-hmm.
70-pound boxer dog. This dog does not like me, by the way.
That's not true.
I promise, it does not like me. So don't mess with Francesca. But like, how did you psych yourself up? Did you have to drink a quad shot with an espresso? Like, how do you psych yourself up to do these calls?
I don't, but everyone is different. Like some people need to get more energetic. Some people need to talk about it. I need to not think and just do it. Like get into a calm state and just do it. That's how I do it. I don't overthink it. I don't help myself. I don't want to be excited. I didn't even tell you because I don't even want to throw that out there. I want to do it, get it done. And then once it's done, I say, okay, I finished it, move on. But that's how I am. Everyone is different.
I love that about you. I get the text that says the deal's done, not the text like, hey, I got an appointment. If you would have told me the day before, then there would have been added pressure. Ryan, how do you pump yourself up? I'm just curious for calls.
So I'll answer that question, but it's the quiet closers that are dangerous because she's going to just do that over and over, right? And all of a sudden, like, you're going to be like, whoa, Francesca, you're at how much per month? There's quiet closers in the group that are just like, they're not making a lot of noise. They're not, stirring the pot. They're not, doing anything that is going to attract attention to themselves. And they're just closing deals. And I could see Francesca just closing one after another. And then one day you're like, oh, I'm at 10K. And you're like, you're what? Yep. You're already at 10K. It's coming.
No, totally. I agree with that. And I argue, Francesca, would you say you're more of, I know the answer to this, but I want you to say it. Would you say you're more introverted, more extroverted?
Introverted.
Totally. You will not catch Francesca saying hi to you as a random stranger.
That's
No
not true.
chance, no way. I know it is true. And this is what I think is important is like, I think a lot of times, even me, and Francesca doesn't totally believe me, but I don't love to talk to people. If I don't know you, I don't have time. I'm just like, I'm not like that kind of guy, but I can get in the zone. And when it's time to go sell, it's time to go sell. I would argue that people that are like on the side of introvert, sometimes they do better at sales. And I think it's because they're more concise with their words and they don't, run up and down with this story and that story and all the rest. They just get to the point, they say it, they're done. And so I've seen a lot of people that are quote unquote introverts that crush it in sales, even though technically they shouldn't, because it's like, you have to talk, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so hell of a job, Francesca. I want to save a little bit of time for some questions because I want to do a little Q&A, but great freaking job. And we talked on Tuesday, and you said that your goal and your commitment for the next 7 days was to get another deal. So we're going to have everyone in here follow up with you by
Great.
So no pressure. You got
no pressure.
Okay, let me pull up the comments. By the way, if anyone has any comments, any questions or any comments for Francesca, for Ryan, for me, drop them in. We got a few minutes left, and then I'm going to respect everyone's time, let Francesca go. But let me go ahead and roll through these really quick. Okay. Oh, a couple shout outs for Ryan. Artem says the man's a machine. I missed these. Brad says, Ryan is fire. I need to come follow you around Memphis. Respect to Ryan. Porter's giving you that respect, but he's coming for blood, dude.
Porter's the man. 7,500. That's quick, man. He's coming. I can feel him right behind me. I'm like, bro, I know he's going to catch up quick.
Porter's working out of the office right now. So it's like he's closing deals and Francesca's closing deals and Kyle's closing deals. And I'm the lazy piece of shit that's on the cruise. So there you go. All right. Here is Magus says, question. If there's only two main professional businesses in a town of, let's say, around 50,000 population, is it really worth put the effort into? There seem to be only two main businesses for key niches she mentioned in your other video. Should I call them up first to see what they feel about it? Francesca, what do you think? You find a city, everything looks good. There's only two business owners in town. What do you do?
I think it's quality over quantity.
So
if you think he looks good and there is a volume and it's not too high, I would need a little bit more details. Like the ads are not too expensive. Why not? Like you only need one.
True.
I had two and one didn't respond to me. I only had one left. Now it could be luck, but
I think you're right. You said you probably need more detail. I think it also depends. Like, is this a site you already have ranking with leads? Like I know, for example, with the deal that Francesca closed, that was a website that we had a client for a while. He ended up getting an absolute bitch secretary. That's a true thing. Francesca will back me up there. She came in and was trying to get a gold star. We lost the deal. And so we already had leads. So it's like, we already have leads. Of course, we're going to find somebody. But in your case, if it's your first deal, it's like, all right, I think it would be wise, maybe like you said, go call around, get a feel before you go set up ads and pay for ads. Maybe get a feel if anyone's even hungry to grow first. Ryan, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that the quality comment is perfect. Like that's the great mindset because you're thinking for the long-term business relationship, not just like right now, what's going on, right? I think your perspective is spot on.
Love it. Okay, Wahid said, great perspective shift. And he's talking about when you said you're calling, and I didn't even say anything on this. I love that, Francesca. It's like, sometimes you just got to be in your head and think about it differently. And Francesca, what she said, if you missed it and you're just joining the call, she said, when she calls, the way that she's able to shift from I hate sales to now I'm good at it and I'm doing it is I'm not even trying to sell. I'm just trying to find somebody that's a good fit that I can work with, that can work with me. So it's like, instead of selling, I'm just finding. And sometimes it's those shifts, right? Like when you call around and you have in your head that you have to convince somebody, it's scary. But when you call and you're like, dude, I am calling to give you exactly what it is you want. You're already paying for ads, knucklehead. So I already know you want this. Like, I'm here to help you out. Like, and the only thing that changes how you viewed it in your head, but yet the outcome is vastly different. So anyway, I just want to touch on that really quick. Lorenzo says, I'm door knocking right now. And if you're door knocking, you are an absolute thick-skinned savage, because that is a job. And I think he said LMAO. I don't know if he's joking. Kurt says, I believe a woman could have a big advantage in this business model. I totally agree. Let's see what other question we have. Okay, Brian Bisco says, I remember that call with Francesca. She was supposed to get the free office plant. Francesca, did you get the free office plant? Let them know I followed through.
I did. And I got a commission.
Yeah, you got it. And you got a commission on that. I took a picture and sent it in the group. That was a fun call. And I remember, if you remember this call, Francesca, I was like, we have to get at least 30 people on the call or we're not running it, or something like that. Maybe it's 20. And we were so close and we finally hit the number.
Yeah.
It was very close. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Mustafa. Speaking of Simba, we got Mustafa here. Just kidding. That's Mufasa. That's a cool name, by the way. Dude, Lion King. Do you guys like the movie Lion King, by the way?
Sounds like you love it.
That's a classic.
Lion King is such a that's such a sick movie. I get the freaking goosebumps watching freaking Lion King, dude.
You know what the moral of the story is, right?
Well,
Simba running around in the woods with his buddies, Timon and Pumbaa, having fun until he met Nala. And then he has to take over Pride Rock. So I think the moral of the story is you got to watch out for girls.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. But you know what the other story is well, this isn't a lesson, but you know, Francesca won't be surprised at this, but I thought that what's the dad's name?
Oh,
that's Mufasa. Yeah, Mufasa's the dad in Simba. Okay, so I thought Mufasa was a freaking dingle, dude. I'm all about Scar. Scar was my boy when I was a kid, dude.
Yeah, he had hyenas, man. Hyenas are pretty rad.
Hyenas are sick. Okay, anyway. So Mufasa, just kidding, Mustafa, that's a dope name, dude. I think I'm going to name my kid that. He's from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Dope name, Mustafa. Says, do you ever reach out to business owners who don't run any ads already? And I know my answer. Francesca, your thoughts, and Ryan, your thoughts.
Go ahead, Francesca, kick it off.
I don't see why you would. Like, things, you want to keep it as simple as possible, so why go there? I mean, you can, but I wouldn't even waste my time. Like, why would I, if I can reach out to someone that is running ads? Is that because, again, I need more info? Like, is that your only option on the list? Are you getting leads? You know, the answer may vary depending on how things are. Does that make sense? But if I had the option to call someone that is running ads and is not running ads, I would pick running ads.
Hey,
so
Ryan,
I guess it depends.
I agree with, I'm 100%, I agree with you. But before Ryan goes, I don't want to forget this. My answer is shown in the way that I was able to harvest Francesca as an employee. Did I go looking for random people on Indeed? No, I went to people that were already in the marketing field. Dude, same exact thing. I already knew she was in the marketing field. She was a intern. She already had that experience. And you only do an internship if you're looking to get a job in that space. And it was a much easier conversation than calling some random person. How many people have we interviewed, Francesca, from these random ass fields, like background in restaurants or whatever, and they don't work out? Yet with you, after I shook the sense into you, it's worked out great.
Yeah. Just keep it simple.
I agree.
You know.
I agree. Ryan.
You're working against yourself if you don't look for someone who's running ads. Like, why? Francesca's answered it perfectly. There's not really much to add other than, like, for me, that's my last resort, right? I'll go through Google Ads, Home Advisor, Angie's List, And then I start digging. I'm like going through Yelp. Like there's some places where it's just hard to find a business owner, right? That happens sometimes. And if that happens, it means that the very, very last resort, the last thing that I'll do is start finding people that I have no indication that they're running any kind of advertising, any paid promotion, any kind of, paying for something to get their business, but it is not anywhere near the first thing that I do.
Good. You guys, I have nothing else to add other than, can you sell people leads that aren't currently paying for ads? Yes, we have clients that are still paying us that never were running ads. However, why make it more difficult on yourself? When you are selling to somebody who's not paying for advertising, you have to sell them twice. You have to sell them on why they should pay for advertising and why they should pay you for advertising. When you sell somebody who's already paying for advertising, you don't have to convince them advertising is a good idea, paying for leads is a good idea. You just have to convince them you're a better option than what they're currently paying for, or you're another option that's also good to add. So it's like, why do it? So for me, if it's your first, second, third, fourth, fifth deal, if there's no one running ads, don't go in that area. Now, if you're on your 10th deal and the area looks like a layup, maybe it's worth going into. Or let's say you have a website, you sell somebody that's running ads, and then whatever, you rank the website. Now you have organic leads coming in. In those cases, you already have the asset, sure. But I wouldn't, Francesca hit it, Ryan hit it. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Why would you, right? Okay, $1 million question right here. Herman says, will Francesca start her own $1 million agency?
No.
Be careful.
What kind of agency?
Next thing you know, there's a new program out. It's this girl named Francesca. It's Digital Slumlords.
I definitely wouldn't do anything that I have to record myself. I already did that.
Yeah, no, you're doing a great job right now. So I think everyone is enjoying this. Okay, couple more and then we'll bounce. Heacham, for a city niche, I'm finding only business owners and Home Advisor. No one is running Google ads except national companies, Angie plus Home Advisor. I'm going to answer this one really quick because it's one we talked about before. Yeah, you could still, I've sold plenty of people on Home Advisor. Google ads is my favorite because it's typically a higher budget, but absolutely you can still sell to people that are paying for those things. It doesn't matter. Okay. Kurt says, by the way, Francesca, great job in the other video. I was nervous for you and you nailed it. I agree. Bryce Young says, are business owners that are running paid search asking if you're running paid ads? That's a good question. Well, I'm going to ask you guys, when you called those two business owners, Francesca, did they ask you like, how are you getting the leads?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
The truth. I'm very honest.
Our site was ranking, right?
Yeah, but I turned on the ads.
Oh, she turned on. Okay.
For those 2 days.
So I think the real question he's asking is like, and I'm going to share a YouTube video because this is the question. And I'm going to have Ryan answer this because I've talked about this a million times. Why would somebody, this is what Bryce is actually asking. Why would somebody pay for your leads when could just pay for Google ads? What's the answer to that question, Ryan?
Yeah. So first of all, I have only been asked that once in all the sales that I've done. Like one guy asked, like, are you running Google ads? Right. And I was like, yeah, I'm running Google ads. But the reason that you'd pay for mine is because it's a second fishing pole in the water, right? You got your first fishing pole in the water, whatever your website is. The second one is going to be my fishing pole, and you can have my fishing pole, or somebody else can have your fishing or this fishing pole. But it's going to be generating leads, and it's going to be at the top of Google because I've done this in market after market after market after market. And in your market, mine is going to be number one. And so let's work together, and I'll send you all those fish that are coming in via this fishing pole.
Love it. And Bryce, here's what you also have to realize. Just because someone is spending money on Google ads does not mean they're getting leads. Let me repeat that. And then I'm going to do one of those loops and just post it. Just because someone is paying for Google ads does not mean they're getting leads. We are selling leads. They are paying for clicks. How do you know their ads are set up correctly? How do you know that they know what keywords to use? How do you know that they know what budget to do? How do you know their landing page even converts? I think we see Google ads and we go, well, why would they pay for our ads? They're not paying for ads. They want leads. And if we can provide them leads, you're assuming that they're getting leads from running ads, and chances are they are not. Plus, on top of that, as Ryan said, I always say the same thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm running Google ads, but that's not the long-term strategy. That's just what we're doing while our website continues to rank. Long-term organic is the play, but we'll always supplement it with Google ads so that we can have multiple fishing poles in the water. One at Google ads, one in the Google My Business, one in the organic. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Let's monopolize this bitch.
It's a great question. It's a really good question.
Yep. Francesca, you got anything to add there? You don't have to.
Well, you kind of do that in the pre-video that you sent before the call.
True.
By explaining how we get the leads, because you said it right. You also have the website, but you also have a Google My Business. So you really have 3, and they're only running ads. And again, I don't even know if they're making anything out of it.
Yep.
But our whole thing is different because you're providing multiple things. Right.
True. Magus says, why not go into an area that doesn't have paid ads? You can, but why go into an area where you got to convince somebody that's worth spending money on? If somebody's not already paying for ads, it's 2023, guys. If somebody doesn't believe in advertising and they're running a business and they're like, I get all my business from referrals, like, cool, bro. Awesome. Like, I want to work with people that are hungry to grow, and that takes running ads. Bruce says, this helps a ton. I'm going to do one more question. We're going to bounce. This helps a ton. In my recent cities, I have done DD, and I have only been able to find 5 or 6 prospects though throughout all the advertising channels. And I just moved on looking for 10 or more. Now I got to rethink. Yeah, dude, it doesn't need to be that many. I think if it's 5 or 6, go run it. And if you're really worried, go do a couple calls before and pretend you have a lead or gauge people's interest. Something like that. Okay. Last question for Francesca, and then we're out. Tim Johnson. So actually, should we do this one or this one? Let me read this one. I have leads. Okay, we're gonna do Magus's, and Tim, I'll respond to yours on a comment. So Magus says, what do you think? And this is for you, Francesca. What do you think of niches such as plumbing and electricity? I remember you suggested to not do roofing, but rather roofing repairs. But in an area that is smaller, wouldn't it be better to hit more mainstream niches? What are your thoughts on plumbing and electricity, Francesca?
I think that anyone that has a lower ticket, like plumbing, right, you have to consider how much money they're making out of every lead. Same with something like towing. You have to send them a ton of leads for them to make it worth it, especially. So you either have really, really cheap ads, but you need to sell the contract at a pretty lower price compared to concrete or tree service or whatever, because they're not making as much, and you need to provide a lot of leads for them. So it may sound ideal, but consider the best for, this is how I think about it. I think, okay, if I was them, would this be worth it to me? Don't only think about you, especially if you want to work long-term. And so I would avoid it. Unless, again, you have really cheap ads, you have some kind of a deal, you can lower the price, but you have to keep in mind that you need to send a lot of leads.
And I've also found that plumbing, for whatever reason, is, even though it's not super high ticket, unless you get into some of like the, like obscure stuff. Like if you get into like, what is it? What's the one, Ryan? It's like sewer.
Oh, septic tanks.
Septic tanks. Like you go, anything that's like real, like for whatever reason, plumbing is kind of competitive, even though a regular plumbing service call, like a toilet fix is not that much money, but like plumbing is kind of competitive. And I found that plumbing's kind of branded. Like everyone kind of knows their local plumber, but I know that we have tried both of those niches. Electricity, we had one of those referral deals. We ran it. We had a year contract. We did the whole year, and we sent the guy a lot of leads, but it wasn't enough to justify how much he needed to pay us to make it work. And so just like Francesca said, it's not worth it. My advice is in competitive niches, like those 2 niches, electricity is competitive and branded, and so is plumbing. You got to find a sub niche that's just like roofing, roof repair. So if I'm going to do plumbing, I would do septic. Electricity or electrician, I don't know. You could probably find something. I'm sure in like a large city, for example, like let's say Vegas. I'm sure, I don't even know what the term would be, but there's probably some term out there where like I just had to pay somebody to come and convert my garage to charge my Tesla into it, like an EV charger. Like they had to rewire. I don't even know what that's called. In a big enough city, you could probably go very niche like that. But for the overall general plumbing, electricity, HVAC, those just don't work that well. And it's partly because they're competitive and partly because they're really branded. And then they're not even that high ticket. So it's like, it's not even worth the squeeze anyway. Got it? Anything you guys want to add to that?
Well, I was going to say, if you live, a lot of people live in a rental. And when you do need plumbing or an electrician, you have to go through like your landlord or whoever is managing the place. And they usually have people in mind. So like I'm in a rental. So when I need a plumber, I don't go on Google myself. I have to call the people that are managing, and they usually have someone in mind. So I don't know if that also has some kind of effect on the.
It does. I think it's the same thing as like we go and we're like, why does framing, house framing or drywall not work? It's like, well, because typically people that need drywall are general contractors, and general contractors typically already have their people. They're not going to Google themselves. They already have their team or their crew. So you have to, that's a really good point. You have to think through, like, where do you like, again, in plumbing for me too, I've usually like maybe ask my neighbor or whatever, like, who do you use for a plumber? I don't know. It's for whatever reason, some of these things that we're giving me, Ryan, Francesca, Ryan's been doing this for 12 months now. He's scaled up to 27K. I've been doing this for 6 years. Francesca's been running the entire company since 2019. We've been in these niches. We've seen the ones that work. We've seen the ones that don't. Sometimes everything looks like it should work and it just doesn't. And you would only know that because you've tried it and it doesn't work. So anyway.
If you've got a ranked site though, if it's already ranked, if you're on this call and like you've like tried to learn ranking before or whatever, and your site's already ranked for these low ticket, towing or plumbing, you can totally sell that, right? Like I think that we kind of knock on a little bit because for ads, getting ads to roll, right? It just doesn't make sense for these low ticket niches. But if you happen to already have one of these that's already producing a volume of leads, right? You can for sure sell those.
And in fact, if you have a site, let me say this, if you have a website that's ranked for all the major keywords, producing volume, I'll buy it from you because we'll sell it and it's an asset, man. I'm in the business of buying assets. So whatever it is, I'm down. We have a towing site. How long have we had that client? Since it's like early 2019, we've had that towing client.
That one is magical though. That
one is magical. We built it. Do you even know the login? I haven't logged that site in 2 years. Okay.
Don't log in though, because it's working.
Yeah, just don't touch it. Just keep hands off the oil. Don't touch it.
It's not great, but it's working, so we don't touch it.
It's churning out $500 a month. We're just freaking running to the bank, just freaking skipping all the way there.
See, even that, like you guys were saying, we don't really pay much in ads, but we're also not charging much. So it only works if you have something that's really working.
And I bought some of those sites from people where they're like, I just can't sell whatever it is. Like I bought a tile one not long ago. They're like, I just couldn't sell it. I sold it yesterday, right? It wasn't for a whole lot because they're these small tile jobs in a larger metropolitan area. It's a great site. It's a really great site. Like they built it really well. The SEO is just right. It's at the top of the map pack. It's at the top of the search engine. It's not super high ticket, but like you could sell them, right? It's totally doable.
Me, Ryan, and Francesca are all in the business of building, buying, and creating assets. So if you got assets you're selling from tile websites to OnlyFans accounts, hit us up. You know,
Nick will buy it or Francesca will buy it. I'll buy it. So hit us up.
Yeah, I know Francesca's in some really shady niches, but it's all good. I'm just kidding. Okay, guys, thank you for being on the call. When I say guys, I mean guys, gals, Francesca, Ryan, everyone on this stream. I know you guys could be doing a lot with your time right now, but we appreciate you being here. We prepare for these calls. And in some cases, like today, this is the last thing that Francesca wants to do with her Wednesday evening. She probably wants to be in the bath with a glass of wine. So we appreciate you jumping on this call. So everyone give Francesca thank you. Ryan, thank you for being on. And we'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you guys.